What's going on, everybody? This is your boy JC from JC Eagles Talk, and yes, I'm back again with another superstar guest, Eagles content creator, one of the best that I've been watching him for a while, and you will not be disappointed. Tonight, we are going to try to do all these questions. I have questions of my own. If y'all have questions, put them in the comments. We will answer everything about the Sixers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Philadelphia Eagles. But you know the deal. We can't start this without, coming on with the Eagles national anthem. So let's get it. Yes, sir. That's how you start a live. You know what? That gets you pumped up. That gets your blood flowing through. You know how we do it every Sunday when we about to sing this song a lot this upcoming year because we about to put some touchdown on everybody's head. So without further ado, let me introduce my boy, Philly, the podcast, to the stream. Let's go, my guy. Let them know who you are and what you're about.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco. You know what I'm saying? I got the hat now, Philly over there. But yeah, it's Philly, the podcast, man. We be having fun, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk some football, talk some Nets, because I don't have many people I can talk with. So, yeah, let's do it, man. I'm hyped.
Yes, sir. Hey, look, my first question is this. All right. Who's most to blame for the Nets not advancing against the Bucks?
Now, there's a lot of ways I can put this, right? I can say the refs. I can say injuries. I can say Giannis himself, right?
Okay.
I'm going to honestly go with Joe Harris. I'm going to say that if Joe Harris would have showed up at all in any of those games, giving us a dub, giving us, 20-plus points, we would have probably won a couple of those games. So Joe Harris, man, it sucks. I love Joe Harris, but I said in the beginning of the season, you can go back and check. I did a couple of videos about the Nets, and one of them I did say Joe Harris got way overpaid to be like a fourth or fifth option on our team. And he had to, he proved me right. He had to go out there and be a number 2 option and number 3 option, and sometimes and just didn't show up. So we knew all of our weaknesses going into this, and we knew, especially when, injuries started happening, that was going to affect us. But we should have had a deep enough team offensively to carry us. And Joe Harris he sold. That's what the kids say, right? He sold. He straight up sold that whole series. And I, to kind of reflect on what I was saying earlier, I do blame, the refs a little bit. I think that, and injuries, but I think that, man, the way they let Giannis play the whole NBA playoffs, not just against us, is ridiculous. I think that it's just there's no way you can tell me he has an offensive game, because he doesn't. He has a bunch of just offensive fouls. He literally just like charges up. He's one of those dudes that you spin the little wheel on the back, he's getting all ready, and then he just runs. That's his one move. So, I did not like watching him play, but to keep it realistic and to keep it on the Nets, I would have to say Joe Harris sold for the Nets. It was bad.
Look, this is not even a debate. Joe Harris is the sole reason why they lost, especially at Game 7. Wide open threes. It would not even go to Game 7 if Joe Harris could hit 1 or 2 threes. He won the 3-point contest for a reason. But he choked in the whole playoffs. He just choked. I'm sorry. He was getting left wide open. Even James Harden on a one leg was making more plays than Joe Harris. Right. This is so frustrating to me.
And the worst part, he said, y'all talking Nets, how you say. But the worst part for me, real talk, is that he wasn't anything on either side, right? Like it's like you weren't a defender. You didn't do anything for us defensively. You didn't do anything for us offensively. So it was like you were just a liability on both sides. And I kind of feel like also, man, Steve Nash, like when we first signed Steve Nash, I was a little bit worried. And I was very worried because I thought Kenny Atkinson deserved this team. I thought that Kenny like deserved to have this championship just as much as everybody else on this team. I understood having to get rid of D'Lo, that hurt, but Kenny made no sense to me. Kenny, getting rid of Kenny and going with somebody like Steve Nash that has no type of experience. And honestly, I don't know what the heck he said in the conference or in the interview because I didn't see any offense. I didn't see any plays being ran, especially when it mattered. I think we went like the whole game 5 without calling one ran play. Like it was literally just put the ball in James Harden's hand and hope he can figure something out. And you can't do that. It doesn't matter how many good players you have. The difference between an NBA team and 5 good players on Rutgers Park is your coach. That's usually what the difference is your coaching and the way that you play the game. So we just won a team this year. We were a bunch of good players. That's it. That's all we had. Even when we were healthy, we won some games and it looked good. And, if we stood healthy, do I think we would have beat the Bucks? Most definitely. But we didn't stay healthy and we needed a coach and we didn't have one. So, I think that this should fall back on Nash a little bit too, but I don't know if it will because even what's his name? Nick Claxton. Yeah. Nick Claxton should have stood in.
He should have played. Yeah.
Bro, Nick Claxton, even if he didn't score a point the whole series, he was giving Giannis fits, like legit fits. And every time I saw him getting taken out, I'm like, just put Nick Claxton in because we're not getting any points from Joe Harris. So it's like, just put Claxton in. At least we get defense. Like it just doesn't make sense. So I think that coaching has a lot to do with it too, but court-wise, it was definitely Joe Harris. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look, man, this season was an up and down season, but I also thought that James Harden played too many minutes. I mean, we had we had his backup. What's that kid's name? He came from
Mike James.
Huh?
Mike James.
Yeah, Mike James and the other white kid. Man, the other was Shamit, but Johnson.
Oh yeah, Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson could ball too now. He could shoot some shots. He could make some shots. But I think that they played James Harden a little bit too much because offensively, especially when he first came back from the first game, yes, I know that's emotional support. Yes, he's out there. Let's do it for James. But we would not be in this position if Tyler Johnson or Nick James or somebody that could score and really, bring people outside the paint, besides James Harden was dribble, pass, looking the pat, especially that first game back. So, I mean, look, I honestly think so.
Who would have thought our offense would have been the problem?
Yeah, and not me. But, hey, next one. Do you think we should trade Kyrie for Ben Simmons? Because as of right now, Ben Simmons, his problem is offense. Kyrie could spark that team. He got the offensive power. He could score buckets, buckets and buckets. But Ben Simmons would go to the Brooklyn Nets, not needing to score, stop somebody. Hey, he could play. He could play defense on every position. So I mean, it's a really good scenario. I would like to trade because I got Harden, Durant, Harris. I mean, those three alone, and with Ben. I mean, we have enough depth on the bench. We just didn't utilize it in the playoffs. So do you think that is a realistic 1-for-1 trade, Kyrie for Ben Simmons?
I'm going to say no. Because Kyrie, low-key, was probably the reason we made the playoffs.
When he played.
He played this whole season. He obviously got hurt in that. He played most of the season. He was the main factor in us making the playoffs, especially towards the end of the year. I mean, it is what it is. Our big three didn't play much together. But Kyrie, I don't like Kyrie. I really do not like Kyrie. And I didn't like him before he came to the Nets. I won't like him when he leaves. But my thing with Ben Simmons is I don't think him I don't know. I don't think so. Me personally, I feel like you have to give me more. Ben Simmons has a lot of time left on his contract. So if he regresses in any form, he's worthless. If he's not a top 5, top 3 defender in the NBA, he doesn't have much value outside of that, in my opinion. So, I mean, you would have to give me more. You would have to give.
If they give you Maxey and Ben Simmons,
I'll probably do it. Yeah, I probably do it. I might do it. I mean, I might. I don't know. I don't think we should be taking on an issue like him right now. Unless he's going to move to power forward or something like that, it's just, I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't think that it makes sense for us. I think he's just too much of an issue right now. He doesn't want to work on his issues. He doesn't want to become a better shooter. He doesn't seem to want to even shoot in games. I just don't think that it's something that you should take on if you're the Nets. Like it makes sense in the sense of you don't have a lot of young players, so he would be a good young player.
Yeah.
But if this is all
like
he is,
24 years old,
grows,
I think.
Yeah, but if this is all he is and he never grows, I think you get fleeced in that deal, and I think he kind of can hold you back from winning a championship. So I don't know. It's a hard decision because I understand it as far as the defensive aspect of it. But like I said, if he loses any of that, if he becomes a top 15 defender, that wasn't a worth it, deal. He has to be a top 5 guy for that to be worth it for me. So it's hard to say, but I would say no.
I mean, look, Kyrie Irving was a headache this year. Like, honest truth, he missed like 15 games just personal reasons. Like, if James Harden was not on this team, I don't think we would have made a playoff because Kyrie would have been gone. Like, it's unreliable to me.
Kyrie was part of the 50-40-90 club. He did move a lot. He did miss a lot of games. But when he played, he was balling out for us. Man.
When he plays. I need you to play. I need you to play. He missed at least 20-something games.
So did Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant probably missed more.
But that's injury, though. But hey, that wasn't just like, you know what? Hey, I got some personal issues. I'm walking away. You don't tell the coach. People calling you. Owner calling you. GM calling.
That was one situation. Yeah. But they came out and said that they knew what was going on. That he had some issues.
Of course, they're going to cover for him. You want to get this unstable guy, man.
I just don't feel like he was. I do trust me. I don't like Kyrie, but I just don't feel like he was that big of an issue this year. Like when he was playing, he was balling for us, even in the playoffs. And like if he never got hurt, bro, like I don't think we're sitting here having this conversation. I think we're watching the game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I think that It was that serious. So it sucks. And I just don't think Ben Simmons is a guy I'm willing to take on because he just doesn't really have heart like that. At least Kyrie, when he was playing, he showed heart a little bit, and he showed he loves Brooklyn. So, and we wouldn't have got KD without Kyrie. So at this point, I don't think anybody of those big 3 are going to leave because they all like each other. They all want to play with each other. So, pause. So it is what it is. I don't see any of those guys going.
Look, I want to say to keep the band together, but Kyrie just made me nervous, man. He makes me nervous because we never know what he's thinking. He be doing some weird, some weird shit. Like, I don't know if Kyrie is going to come to the game today or not. And you can't say nothing about him. And with Atkinson, Kyrie and KD is the one that picked Steve Nash because they wanted someone that with no experience would listen to them, would kind of, and let them get away with, some stuff. You think a Greg Popovich would let Kyrie just say, you know what, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. Hey, I'm out. Or, hey, I can't play.
He did a lot of load management with Kawhi. So maybe he would have. I mean, we like 30. I think we played 20 or 30 games with all 3 of them playing. So I feel like everybody was load managing. I don't think it was
the regular season. We only played 7 the regular season with all 3 of them.
So, yeah, I mean as far as all 3, any of the 3. I think it was
Yeah.
only like 30 games. Like we played our backups a lot of time. Like, you know
A
what I'm saying? Like
lot of time.
and that's a good thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't get how Steve Nash is going to get into the playoffs and shorten his bench when you don't have the players. Like you don't have the players to shorten your bench anymore. Like you don't have Kyrie, Harden, and KD at full health. If you have full health, then I get you shortening the bench and just rotating another 3 guys. But like Blake Griffin was one of our lead scorers in some of these games, and it's like
Aldridge was doing good before he went down with injury.
That was another one. If we would have, just injuries killed us this year. So I think, man, just run it back. We'll see what we do with Dinwiddie. Hopefully he comes back. If not, hopefully we can get like a big guy for him or something like that, and we can move on. I mean, I think we got a good team. I think we championship ready. You just got to retool a couple things and hope for help.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I also think that we could fleece somebody else for Kyrie. Hey, if you want Kyrie, and we need a first round pick and two quality starting star players, like a first round pick from Philly, Ben Simmons, and Maxey.
Yeah, I would do it, but would KD be cool with that? Would Harden be? That's the thing we got to think of.
I think KD and Harden is tighter than KD and Kyrie.
They might be.
Yeah.
They might be. But this is a player-driven league, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, all right. So with all this being said, I mean, do you think the Brooklyn Nets season was successful or no? I mean, with all that being said, with all the injuries, with the lack of, with the whole team coming together first time, this year, and just throwing them out there. I mean, the Nets did make it to the third round of playoffs. The second round of playoffs. Yeah. So I mean, in your opinion,
as a Nets fan,
hell no.
I've been a Nets fan my whole life. No, look, as a Nets fan my whole life, it's sucked watching the Nets play sometimes, right? Like, so in a sense of like, at least we weren't terrible. It felt good to have KD, Kyrie, and Harden. But when you get KD, Kyrie, and Harden, championship or bust. So I would not say that this was a successful season.
But we didn't have them though. But we didn't have them for the playoffs.
That's the thing. I mean, it sucks. We didn't win. If we would have won, it would have definitely been a success. That was my only measure of success right there, is just winning a championship. So unfortunately, we didn't win. That was the bar that we had set. So, next year we'll get him now. Next year we'll definitely win it.
All right, yeah. Look, Evil Eagle, man. Look, I can't get into NBA anymore. A bunch of crybabies. Look, the NFL. Look, every sport now is getting watered down. Even the NFL. Like, how many games have you watched as a Philadelphia Eagles fan when invisible arm went on top of somebody's helmet? All of a sudden, it's like a 15-yard penalty because the whole game. Basketball, even baseball is not even fun to watch no more. Football, every sport is getting watered down because these owners are paying these players so much. And as we see this past off season, they get hurt. Guess what? Your whole team, you pay millions for 3 players, and in the playoffs, you got 1 and a quarter because one is done, and the other one is hobbled. So I mean, look. Hey, all right. And let's transition over to this guy. This guy right here.
It's just the name.
Yeah, this guy. Man, I'm not going to say his name, but this guy right here, to me, is up and down. One day he's bashing Jalenhurts because he's a Carson Wentz fan. I liked him last year because he was defending the Philadelphia Eagles. Even 2 years before that, when Carson Wentz went on his playoff run, he was behind the Eagles. And then when Carson Wentz left, all of a sudden, the Eagles had the worst quarterback in NFL history. He can't sniff Carson Wentz pants, or anything like that. And then he come out earlier was talking about Devontae Smith. I like the pick and the connection, and then into using like Keenan Allen and all this stuff. What do you think about this whole Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith from that guy? I don't even want to waste my time, Mr. running out of bounds, 0-16. But go ahead.
I've said this a lot. I feel like Dan Orlovsky is just looking for clicks. He's looking for attention, and he picked the right team because the Eagles are that type of fan base. We're gonna defend our team. So I mean, I think now he's starting to like trying to run back on his stuff, but I just hope that he's there when the season starts. I hope that he's not, saying, "Oh, well, it is what it is." No, we're gonna have conversations about how you did not have him in the top 40. If he's a top 15 quarterback, we are going to talk, Mr. Orlovsky, and I do not want to see a 2022 NFL quarterbacks list from you if you are that wrong, which you will be about Jalen Hurts. I mean, when you yell that loud, enough people are going to hear you. So he got everybody's attention.
Yeah, he did.
He better be right. Because, hey, we are coming for you if you are wrong, when you are wrong, I should say. So he's just talking out his butt. That's how I really feel. I feel like a lot of these people are just trying to find a way to say something that's controversial enough about Eagles that fans will talk.
Because the Philadelphia Eagles been getting disrespected all offseason. Who Chris Sims, like, man, who is like what is he known for? Yo, you have a top 40 list. There's 32 teams in the NFL. You don't have Jalen Hurts in your top 40. There's 32 teams. You have backup before. Okay, right there, that showed me that you're just a hater. Period. Period. I mean, rank him 32, but not to have him in your 32 and not knowing who's going to start between Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Fields or freaking Fields went to Chicago, I think. Justin Fields.
Oh, Justin Fields? Yeah, he went to Chicago.
But then you got Andy Dalton that said, hey, he's a starting quarterback. So all those guys, the unknown, number 33, the rookies that never even played a snap in the NFL, and you have a nerve to come out and rank Jalen Hurts not in your top 40. There's only 32 teams. So at this point, look, it's just pure hate. So I try not to take nothing the media said because right now we have nothing better to talk about. So we look at the media, like that's the thing. Like we would not entertain this nonsense if the season was going on. Yeah, but right now
they got 2 weeks to like put out all this like random tweets and stuff that will pay attention to it. Because once training camp starts, there's nothing you can say. You know what I'm saying? Once training camp starts, once the preseason's going and we see them on TV and see what's happening, it's up to us now to decide. So we're gonna see all those inside sources and stuff that you had. We'll see if that's real, because it'll play out on the field. So I'm excited, man. Like, that because a week or two ago it was like, all right, we're gonna talk some. All right, you want to talk? We're gonna talk. But now it's like, all right, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's getting down to it now.
Yeah, exactly. Jalen Hurts has nothing but empty space from the top of his head to the ceiling. Like he has so much room for growth that there's no way I see him being as bad as everybody's saying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback or this or that. I just can't see how he is as bad as everybody's saying. And if he's not as bad as everybody's saying, that kind of ups my faith in this team. Like I feel like he can help some other people be good. So, man, like you said, it's pure hate. It's just pure. I don't want to say hate. It's just it's attention seeking, behavior. That's really what it is. It's like they want people to go to their website, so that's what they do, and it's sad. Honestly, I'm tired of all the I don't watch a lot of the sports shows on TV, really. Like, I don't really watch any of them unless I'm catching it on YouTube or something like that. But, now you see how desperate they get, man. The only thing they really have on people that watch the game are their inside sources. And now they're getting called out on all these inside sources.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, right? Yeah, everybody got an inside source. And I got one, too. Wait, what? Doug is coming back? Doug is coming back. Everybody, Doug is coming back. And then we start talking about Doug is coming back.
And none of it ever comes to fruition. And, Adam Schefter is one of the most respected, as far as people that says something and it happens. But even this offseason, he's been
now.
Everything's like a rumor, and just because it was a rumor, it doesn't have to happen. So okay, I can make up rumors. Anybody can make up rumors, and even the Philly media, bro. Like I know this isn't about this, but like Philly media has been tearing. It has been terrible lately. Like the stuff that they've put out is like, why even do it? Like I'll give a shout out to like Shad Kapudia and like Bo Wolf and people like that. They put out that article basically diving into what happened with Carson and everything, and that felt necessary. That at the time felt necessary to know what was going on with Howie and why all this was happening. I felt like I learned from that. But after that, I feel like a lot of different reporters have been just like, reaching for something. And shout out to Shah Kapadia. We've had him on the show, and he's kind of talked about it. And I feel like now nobody has stories. They want to hit something that was as much of a home run as that was, and so they're just making stuff up. Because this most recent one, I'm sure you saw it, where they were saying like, I'm not gonna say who, but there's somebody saying they don't believe in Jalen Hurts. Like, bro, if you don't get out of our face, like, why would you even say that? That's like me coming on the show and be like, listen, bro, I have no way of proving this, right? But this was gonna happen tomorrow. Like, bro, shut up, man. Like that just.
And we're all right here to just wait for it to happen, and then like
it never happens. Like
never happens.
Everybody's literally saying, Boobie Miles came out, Lane Johnson came out, and they were like, the media is just lying, bro. Even Travis Fulgham like retweeted somebody saying the media keeps on lying. And that's just what it feels like. And it might not be lying. It might be like more hearsay than ever because they haven't been able to be as close, to the players and stuff as they probably usually are. Because, even we talked to Chris McPherson, and Chris McPherson, he's used to being so close to the players and he was saying it kind of was a totally different animal because you're not able to have those relationships. You're not able to build that trust with players, right? So a lot of these people ain't getting these stories. That's the main point I'm trying to say. These people are not getting the stories that you think that they're getting. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Not everybody has an inside source. Like, and you even see it with Shannon Sharp, bro. Like, Shannon Sharp is my man's, but that was like a publicity stunt and a half, bro. Like, pulling out a phone and calling your man's on live TV is not cool. Like that's out behavior.
Yeah, that's a setup, man. That's a setup.
That really is. So like, even looking at that, man, I just don't think that the media pool or the news pool is as bountiful as a lot of people think there is. So it's just a bunch of lies, man. It's tiring. It's tiring.
I feel you, man. Hey, if y'all watching this live, man, hey, and you feeling this, hey, subscribe to JC Eagles Talk and my man Philly the podcast. Please help us get to our goal, which is to be the best Philly content creators on YouTube. All right. So hey, let's answer this question real quick. Hey, what do y'all think about the practice between the Jets and the Patriots? Will it cause injuries? I'll let you take that first.
I would probably say it probably will. It's gonna see what these kids got. Last year I would say no, right? Because Doug Peterson didn't really seem to like anything physical when it came to practicing. But this year, Nick Sirianni's really preaching competition.
Yeah.
So it's going to breed some unfortunate injuries, and I'm hoping that it doesn't, knock on wood. But, unfortunately, when you're going 100%, 110% and you're fighting for your job, things happen. So hopefully all these guys have their body right, man, because this is competition now. This is not what we've seen before where you just have to run the routes pretty with nobody guarding you. You're going to go full force. So it probably will, but I think that it's something that we need. It's definitely something that we need.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the injuries, man, I think if it was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe, because now these players, hey, nobody want to get hurt. So they were like, hey, man, look, hey, everybody go, hey, 75, all right, 75, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, they're talking to each other, hey, before the whole play even started, because hey, we know this ain't that serious, And
see, I would, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I would kind of differ. If we were playing like a Ravens team or something like that, maybe I would more agree with you.
Oh, absolutely.
But a Jets or a Patriots team, you got a lot of rookies, a lot of people trying to prove themselves. So it might be a little bit different than normal. But I agree with you. I know what you mean, because like if we were a decent team, right? Like and both teams were pretty good, and you had solidified players like Deshaun Jackson's not going to go 110% against Stephon Gilmore in a practice. It's just not going to happen. But you might see Travis Fulgham really trying to break whoever's on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Because they're both going to be young. Because think about it. If you're Travis Fulgham and you're about to play against J.C. Jackson right now, who went crazy last year, and I was kind of beating the horn to get him on the Eagles, but it is what it is. But J.C. Jackson was pretty good for the Patriots. If you're Travis Fulgham, if you're Quez Watkins, that's a really good time for you to prove yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a practice, like who knows who's going to win this wide receiver 2 position. So I agree with you to a certain extent, but these teams that we're playing with, I feel like it's going to probably breed that competition, which might make them go 100 every play. You know what I'm saying? And Nick Sirianni, he seems like he really wants them to go 110%. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah, especially the Jets. I mean, at the Patriots, hey, Bill been around the block for a while, and he practiced against the Eagles before.
Yeah.
But the Jets, hey, with the new head coach and a new quarterback, everybody is new on the Jets. So of course they're gonna be out, to prove themselves. So let's go back to Jalen Hurts. What is a good season for Jalen Hurts? I mean, what would it take for him to, for the Philadelphia Eagle fans or Howie Roseman to say, you know what, you're not the guy. So like what is a good season to keep him, and what is the bad season to get rid of him?
Yeah, this is something I feel like I've been asking everybody that comes on my show, because I don't know. It's hard, because I feel like the best way of saying it, and shout out to my guy Ryan Rothstein from WIP, because he came on and he said it, and now I'm just gonna steal it. It's the eye test. It's really that simple and that intricate at the same time. You have to watch him play. And, it sounds dumb, and it sounds like you want that magic key. You want to say that magic number. Was good, Ref Taco. But you want that magic number that you're like, all right, if he hits this number, then we're great. If we win a bunch of games, we're good. I feel like you can't really base it off wins. You can't really base it off his numbers too much. You really just got to watch him play. You got to see the week-to-week progression. You got to see him taking on what the coaching's telling him. Playing within the offense, being able to make those split decisions. So I feel like it's just, you got to see improvement. And I don't know how he wants to see. I don't know if
that's the problem. That's the key right there.
That's the scary part. But that's like, it's scary in the sense of like, is Howie going into this saying we have 3 first-round picks and a quarterback we can groom, or we have 3 first-round picks, we should go get a quarterback? So it's I don't know. I hope that it works out for us, but I hope it works out for Jalen Hurts. But I think that the bar is set a little bit too high for him. Just because there are players like a Aaron Rodgers, like a Russell Wilson, that he says he's not as upset anymore. So maybe that's not a realistic thing. But Deshaun Watson, you got players obviously in the draft. You have so many options at quarterback next year, and you have
even Russell Wilson might be up for grabs.
Yeah, if he's really as unhappy as it seemed earlier in this offseason. But we'll see. I hope that Jalen Hurts is that guy, because it just opens it up so much for us. Like, there's so many things we can do fiscally, like with our money and with our draft picks, that it would put us in an amazing position if Jalen Hurts is that guy. So I'm hoping Jalen Hurts is that guy, and I'm hoping that he can prove a lot of people wrong. But I know he's not as bad as everybody makes him out to be. So, like, if that's the bar for Jalen Hurts, if, like, Howie's looking at him and is like, he's probably going to be the worst quarterback in the league, who knows? He might surprise the hell out of Howie. So, like, we'll see. But I think the bar realistically might be a little bit too high for him. And I hope he proves me wrong.
So just give me a touchdown and a TD interception ratio, though. Like, I mean, because at Carson Wentz's first year, he was about 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions or whatever. But then year 2, 3, 4, he literally didn't throw like no more than 7 picks. So he improved over the few years. So technically, this is Jalen Hurts' first season.
Yeah.
like the 4 games was preseason games. Yes, it was in the regular season, but you have 4 preseason games, to get your mechanics down and your rhythm down, and to actually know the plays and the players and stuff like that. So just give me like a stats, like TD, interception, a ratio.
I say this. I think depending on how important his or how much they incorporate his running game, I would be happy with 2010. If we can get more than 20 touchdowns, look at that. More than 20 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. I think that's a good building block. Like I said, if he's more of a runner, 20, 25, 26 touchdowns and some rushing touchdowns would be really good. But it's hard to say. It's all in context, because you look at Carson Wentz's numbers. Like you said, he had like 16 touchdowns to 14 interceptions, something like that.
Yeah.
But you could see that he was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He was going to be great.
Yeah.
So I think that he can have the same. Jalen Hurts can do the same type thing where it's a very close, 16 to 14, but his team around him is not that great. So, maybe we see that. Maybe it's the vice versa. So it's hard. It's hard to say, because he could go out there and throw 30 touchdowns and 20 interceptions and be trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I think it's all in context. But if I had to say a number, I think you want him to be higher than 20 touchdowns, but you want him to be around or lower than 10 interceptions, especially with the 17 games.
Yeah, look, I agree. I mean, I like it. As long as he throws at least 10 more a touchdown than interception, I'll be fine with that, because with the team we have around him, some of those touchdowns are going to be taken away, because you got the Miles Sanders and, your backfield, so I think that our defense will play a big part this year, and we might be up on, playing with the lead. And sometimes we just running the ball, and we're just not going to make his stats look sexy, but he's just a game manager, what everybody want to use now with every quarterback is a game manager. So, I mean, look, Jalen Hurts, even if he bombs this season, I feel like that we should still give him another chance. Like, I mean, we can't really judge him off of the first-year offense. This whole team is different, though. Head coach is different, offense coordinator is different, defense is different. I mean, the players are getting older, and we got some young guys in there. So I think this is a year like he should get his feet wet and in the system, and just learn the system and see how comfortable he is. And then the following year, because this is only his second year, we got him for at least minimum 4, maximum of a 5th-year option or 6th, 7th year.
We don't have the 5th on him.
But not yet. Wait, we didn't pick up the 5th until the 4th year. We can't pick up the 5th
he's a second-round pick, so he doesn't have the
yeah. So look, he got this year and 2 more years, right? Worst case scenario. So I mean, I say this: I don't see, at least not yet, any quarterback coming out of college that the Philadelphia Eagles could trade, like move 3 picks for, because look, it's going to cost. I don't think we're going to be that bad. So we're going to be in the mid 18, 19, worst case scenario. So it's going to at least cost us 2 first-round picks to move up to the top 5 just to try to draft a quarterback. So I believe that we should just give him a chance. And I do, like, my prediction for him is at least, 3,500 yard passing, 25 touchdown passing, 7 rushing. That's a good year for him. That's a great year for any quarterback.
The facts. I think with Jalen Hurts, so many things can happen. Because, like you said, if we're good and Miami's good, and then you have a good quarterback, you go try and get you a cornerback. It depend on what happened. Like, there's so many things that can happen. Who knows? Like, there's so many things that are outside of Jalen Hurts' hand as well. Like, what if we are terrible? What if this team is horrible and we do have a top 3 pick? Does it become, it becomes advantageous to maybe go get that top 3 quarterback? Who knows? I'm not a huge fan. I even said this before, the draft this year, because I kind of looked forward. I'm not a huge fan of the draft this year as far as the quarterbacks. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 that are, possible. Like you got Sam Howell from UNC, I think he is. Then you got a guy from USC, Keaton Slavis. I was just talking to Bird Gang 31 about him. He's pretty good. He's got some legs on him. You got Tua's younger brother, who's maybe he all right. There's a couple quarterbacks that are all right. Nobody that like jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Nobody generational like talent wise. So I don't know. Oklahoma has their new quarterback. They always seem to have a good quarterback. We'll see. But I don't know. There's just so many things that can happen. I hope that Jalen Hurts can win it without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I'm saying? But I'm nervous for him because I think that he's going to have to, because saying wait it out makes sense for almost any other position. But quarterback is your most important position. So if you feel like you can improve that position and stay young, you almost have to. That's why I was kind of on the ship of why not get a quarterback this year if we would have stood at 6, to be honest. Like if you can get a player that without a shadow of doubt has the talent, you have to do that with the quarterback position. But with that being said, I do feel confident in Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? I think that he can prove a lot of people wrong. It's just I feel like you have to keep that in mind that it might be out of his hands already. To be real.
Yeah. I mean, that is true, man. I mean, because this year I definitely did not want a quarterback this year because we was going to put Jalen Hurts in the same situation we put weak-minded Carson Wentz in last year. By drafting a high quarterback. I mean, it's just showing that you don't believe in him. But the Philadelphia Eagles went out this year and built around Jalen Hurts. So I mean, they try to give him every weapon that they can besides the CB2, which is on defensive side. But on the offensive side, we probably could light it up with any on any team. Just if we have Rager that's gonna break out this season, that's my breakout player of the year is Jalen Rager because Devontae Smith and Goddard will take the pressure off of him. And then with the running backs that we have, Miles Sanders, Gainwell, hey, who knows who else is going to be back there with the mobile quarterback? I mean, we're going to be so unpredictable, because Nick Foles' best time was the RPO. Even though team knows that dude ain't running nowhere, but your Nick Foles ain't running anywhere. Like if he wasn't full of Philly, the Philly special. And Nick Foles don't lead the backfield. He do not lead the backfield.
I still don't know why he did that Superman thing either. I never understood that.
It was like a sign,
he never did that before.
This is me. I'm going in. So, I mean, but if team fear Nick Foles, non-mobile, imagine the RPO with the mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? He reminded me of Russell Wilson. Like, no lie. Jalen Hurts remind me of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was like a 4th-round pick. He didn't even have the starting job at training camp because they had Matt Flynn or whatever, who just signed that offseason, and Russell Wilson beat him out.
That's a great comparison because I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to have that type of offseason, and he's fighting a ghost.
And they built the same way, lower, stronger body. And we've seen last year how Hurts loved to slide or run out of bounds. We've seen that in college. He's not like Carson Wentz that's trying to dive and leg all wiggling and trying to get hit. He's either trying to slide or just get out of bounds. So Russell Wilson is the same type of quarterback, and I feel like we should not overreact this year coming up. Yes, I predict them to win the division, of course. I want us to go to the playoffs and stuff like that. I predict us having 11-6. Silly me, but I think our defense is going to be a lot better than people think. Minus the CB2, but not having Jim Schwartz and having JG, aka Jim Johnson type mindset. I'm hoping with the blitz, with the front forward Kerrigan, you are substituting Barnett and Graham for Kerrigan and Sweat. So we always going to have pressure coming off the edge regardless. So I'm more banking on our defense than our offense because I'm not going to put that much pressure on Jalen Hurts or, but silly me. Hey, who
I think
knows?
that if the questions that I still have with this team are Howell and Ratley are the first pick. Yeah, Ratley, that's the other guy. I was thinking Spencer Ratley. But yeah, either way, anyways, only thing I really question on this team outside of on the defense, I should say, is our linebackers and our cornerback too. That's it. And what scheme we're really going to run. Like if it's going to really help all over, which I think it will. I think that's the easiest part of it. But that linebacking position, depending on how they use it, really scares me.
But do you feel better about our linebacker core than like this upcoming season than last year?
Nah.
What, Nate Gary? Nate Gary was
I
here
don't like
last
any
year.
of our players right now. I mean, I don't want to say I don't like them, but I don't know I don't think anybody outside of Eric Singleton. I just said his name wrong. Eric Wilson. I don't know who the hell Eric Singleton is, but I was thinking of Alex Singleton and
Alex Singleton.
But outside of Eric Wilson, I don't think that there's one guy on this team at the linebacker position that would be a immediate starter on any team. Like they all are very good at one thing. So that's why I say if you use them properly, we have the play. Like if you say we're only going to have two linebackers out there, Eric Wilson and TJ Edwards, but TJ Edwards is our run
stopper. Yeah.
He's going to be up at the line. Or we're going to have, and our third guy is going to be like a Jacoby Stevens that can be at the line, but is more like that third safety type guy. Then I get it. Then, okay, this might work. But if you're expecting us to go out there with three linebackers and be a regular team with those linebackers and they're going to be, full-time starters, I don't have that much confidence. I'm not going to lie. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
But I mean, see, I'm the opposite. I love the upgrade from Nate Gary to Eric Wilson. And not even that. But Jalen Mills was our safety last year. You got Anthony Harris this year. That's his natural position. Yeah, so you are substituting from. I like our safeties. So that's what I'm saying. So he might help out in the box. So it all depends on the play calling on the defensive side. It all depends on the play calling. Jim Schwartz, literally, we blitz probably maybe 20% of the time. That is probably the bottom 10. In the NFL, because he relied on the wide nine, which probably, allowed the running backs to gash up the middle and then hope that our linebackers can make a tackle and stop somebody. But, I mean, I love the Eric Wilson pickup. I love the Anthony Harris pickup. I feel like that, our linebacker core, TJ Edwards was our best run-stopping linebacker. Alex Singleton, Singleton. Yeah, he didn't even start last year. So he just came in and this year, he already said that he wants to set the Eagles franchise record in tackles made this season. He said it 2-3 months ago. Because I take it too. So everybody on the Philadelphia Eagles are hungry. And that's why I'm like, oh, man, I'm so excited. I'm pumped up. Lane Johnson, feed 5-4 fum. His little tweet that he sent out, with all the disrespect. But he needs to stop tweeting because he was the most injury plagued offensive lineman we had the past 2-3 years. He had not finished a season in 2-3 years, but he's so busy tweeting. But I like his offseason workout. He looks slimmer. I can see a six-pack for a 300-plus guy. I can see his six-pack. So he's feeling lighter. So hopefully this is the year. But overall, I love our defense, and I can't wait. I believe that we could be a top 5 to 7 defense. Last year we got about 49 sacks, without Jim Schwartz blitzing and stuff like that. So if JG could just step it up like 10 more percent, 15 more percent, we can have 50 plus sacks easily. And then you know what come with sacks and quarterback hits? Turnovers. Hey, the quarterback throwing the ball, boom. That's why the CB2 position is critical. is very, very critical because, hey, we play a lot of team with 3 receivers and that could beat our head into the white meat. But at the same time, I feel like if JG could disguise his defense like Jim Johnson did, he was sending Brian Dawkins and Sheldon and from every position. I feel like that we should be okay for this year. If we're not, then next year, then hey, we have an opportunity to to draft a first round CB2. So
yeah, Jim Johnson had some disgusting defense.
Oh man.
He had some players on that team. We had Hollis Thomas on the show once.
Yeah.
He was telling us about how he was like, man, Andy Reid walked into a nasty defense. Like, because they had everybody. They had him, Corey Simon, Hugh Douglas.
Trotter, Kurtz, the Freak. Yeah, they had Trotter, the Freak, Javon Kurtz, Arrington, LeVar Arrington was there. I mean, that defense was nasty. You had McHale. You had Dawkins back there. They had
I missed that squad. They
had a lot of good talent. But
Trent
also,
Cole. Did you say Trent Cole?
Oh, yeah, Trent Cole. But he did put him in the right position, timing blitz. But Schwartz didn't call no blitz. Every team knew that the Philadelphia Eagle defensive plan was what? Just to rush the front four. That's it. So the quarterback, if your front four is tired because of Carson Wentz throwing the ball over 3 and out, the quarterback got so much time back there. So we ain't going to get to nobody.
Yeah, or they were just doing those quick throws to us all year. We weren't
Chase Claypool, the 4 touchdown game against Pittsburgh, the quick screen Drew touchdown,
ridiculous, man.
But hey, look, all right. So let's move to the next question. All right, Devontae Smith, yes, he won the Heisman, the ESPY as the best player in the college football and being the man. Do you think that us Philadelphia Eagles fans, realistically, is hoping that he saved Jalen Hurts? We putting too much pressure on Devontae Smith to perform this year.
I mean, Devontae Smith is a Heisman winner, a top 10 pick. He was wide receiver 1A for a lot of people, or 1B, depending on who you ask. So if this pressure gets to him, I'll be mightily surprised. I think that he's, this is what he wanted. This is what he worked for the past couple years. So I don't think so. I think that we're putting the right pressure on him. He should be a top guy. He's not a Jalen Reagor where you got him towards the end of the draft, where you kind of, took a shot on a guy. He's not a second rounder. He's a top 10 player. So he should perform like a top 10 player. You just want an ESPY to be from being the
Jalen Reagor was our first pick. And Jalen Reagor was our first pick against Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but Jalen Reagor was 28th. You know what I'm saying? When you're picking at number 10, it's a little bit different. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you're a top 10 player, Jalen Reagor, it is what it is. We could have obviously picked better players, but it is what it is. But
Jefferson,
he's towards the end. We took Nelly around the same spot. So it is what it is. Once you get out of the top 15, it's a crapshoot to me. So once you're in the top 10, bro, you have to be a top 10 player. So I think that he has all his pressure is justified. This is all justified. It's time to go out there and ball. You're supposed to save this franchise. That's what top 10 players are supposed to do. So let's see.
Yeah. Yeah. Devontae Smith, look, I love everything about him, man. He's so cool and calm. Every answer is we'll see, or I love it, or it's just man, there's no other, he don't go in depth in any of his answers. He'll just give you, hey, I'm fine. Hey, I'm good. I love that because
never too high or low.
Yeah, he's even kill. Even I believe even in the games where even if he get overthrown, man, he's not gonna go to his quarterback and say, hey, he just even kill, like a Marvin Harrison type of player. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that the pressure that we putting on him, like I saw, man, I read something today that the connection between him and Hurts is going to be lethal. He was like it reminded him back in college days where they had that connection, and I love the fact that Howie some way somehow tripped, like he slipped on dog shit and fell onto Devontae Smith, because there's no way we should have got Devontae Smith once we traded out the top 6. I mean, did you think that Devontae Smith would be available at 10?
I definitely didn't. I thought he would be going. I definitely didn't think how it happened would have happened that way. I definitely did not see that, especially when we, traded back to number 12.
Yeah,
number 6 spot. I was pissed. So
I was too.
Everything went like that. First round was one of the best first rounds of a draft that I've had in a long time, since like Lane Johnson or Fletcher Cox. Like those were the last times I can remember being that excited about my first round pick.
Yo, look, I made a couple videos because I feel like at the number 6 pick, if J.C. Horn was available, we should went for J.C. Horn, and then trade back into the first round for and that other wide receiver from LSU. Oh my God, man! Terrence Marshall. I feel like with J.C. Horn, give up a third or a second, jump back in the first, get Terrence Marshall. I mean, he would have been, that would have been the best of both worlds. So when the Philadelphia Eagles traded with the Dallas Cowboys, and I was like, no, what are we doing? What are we doing? Michael Parsons is right there. Michael Parsons. That's another guy. Man, I want it because we was right there. And then when the whole trade happened, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And my reaction,
I was surprised that they gave us that pick. I mean, it worked out for both of us, though. I'm happy about.
Yeah, they returned the favor from the year before when we let them get their center. Yeah, so, but still. So look, all right. Hey, next question for you. All right, so the running back position. This is the first year where I'm like baffled. We got 7 running backs on the roster, and all of them could be good if given the opportunity. So how many running backs do you think we're going to keep, and who do you have a feeling of keeping? Like, they're going to keep.
I would say we're probably going to keep 4 this year. And I would probably go, obviously, Miles with the number 1, and then Kerryon Johnson would be my number 2. And then it gets foggy. I mean, I think Jordan Howard could have a spot on this roster, but I'm not too sure. I think Kenneth Gainwell.
We've seen what Jordan Howard is about, though. You know what I mean? Just like,
I mean, but did we? He was like having like a 5-yard per carry average until he had that stinger of death. Like his stinger like took him out for the rest of the year. So I mean, I don't know what happened with that, to be honest.
I don't know either.
If he comes back and he's healthy and he plays to the level he was playing prior to that injury, I don't see why he wouldn't be on this roster, if I'm being serious, if I'm being honest. So right now, I'm going to put him there. I'm going to put Jordan Howard at number 3. Then I'll say Kenneth Gainwell or Boston Scott, and I'll probably give the nod to a Kenneth Gainwell just because of the age. So, that's where I'm at right now. We'll see, though. We'll see. I think it's going to all be figured out. I think Kenneth Gainwell gets the number 4 spot just because he has that versatility.
Who's your third again? Who's your third?
Jordan Howard.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we got the same top 4. I mean, Sanders, Gainwell, Johnson, and Howard. Because I think Boston Scott. I mean, to me, Kenneth Gainwell is Boston Scott on steroids.
Yeah, I think he do a little bit more, yeah.
And bigger too. Like bigger, stronger, he could catch the ball better. I mean, so I think that Boston Scott might be the odd man out. I mean, we don't even know what Killings could give us because we never gave him a chance.
Exactly.
I saw his highlights on YouTube about him returning kickoffs. So maybe we could keep 5 and just put him strictly on special teams, kickoff and punt return. Because if the NFL, we remember last year where every team was able to carry 3 extra bodies because of the COVID situation. So if that's the case on game day, instead of drafting 50, instead of dressing 53, you could dress 56. So the 5th running back could be strictly Killings for special teams, punt return. This dude is.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, we also got Quez and Hightower. We got a lot of fast players. We got a lot of shifty guys on this team. Jalen Reagor. I mean, a lot of these guys were special. They were specialists. That's what Jalen Reagor really excelled at in college. So it's gonna be competition everywhere. So we'll see. I don't know if usually I would say like a lot of guys can make the team just off special teams, but like we got a lot of players that might be playing in and playing special teams. A lot of versatility, a lot of young guys. So it'll be interesting. It's gonna be a fun training camp. I'm excited.
So who makes your receiver list, your roster?
As of right now, I'd probably say, obviously, the top 3 to me are Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, and then Travis Fulgham. Those are my top 3 right now.
Okay.
And then I say we're probably going to keep 6, and I think Quez Watkins will be that number 4 guy, maybe sneak up to the number 3 guy. I think that I'll say John Hightower.
Before Greg Ward?
Yeah. And then I'll say Greg Ward as but those can be interchanged. Like the last 2 can kind of be interchanged. I just don't think that Greg Ward's going to see much of the field this year. I think he's going to be more of just kind of like your 3rd down type guy, like your sure hands type guy. You know what I mean? So I don't know if
Justin Avant. Justin Avant type guy.
Exactly. So I don't know how much of the field he'll really see. So that's really where I have him right now. But I do see him making the roster, and I hope he makes the roster, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, Greg Ward changed my whole mindset when he caught the winning touchdown against the Washington football team in the 2019 season when we started going on a 4-game winning streak against an All-Pro. Maybe someday might be a Hall of Famer, Josh Norman. So he went up and caught that ball at the highest point for a quarterback to move to wide receiver and be able to do that. I was at that game. That's what changed my mind when I saw it live. I was like, there's no way he caught that. There's no way. Also, he's just a perfect lob. Perfect catch over like Josh like this. Like, it was beautiful. So, I would definitely want Greg Ward to be on the team just because him and Jalen Hurts, like that's his, his little safety blanket. I feel like. I mean, they've been working out all season. Yes, Devontae Smith is his guy, but we all know that every team is going into the season saying what? Devontae Smith. Get rid of Devontae Smith. Let's make everybody else beat us. And now you got Greg Ward, Goddard, and stuff like that. But let's transition into Goddard. I mean, do you feel like we could afford, not financially, but we could afford to keep Zach Ertz on this team this upcoming season?
No, I think if he doesn't want to be here, you got to let him go. I think if the media is wrong about how the situation is going, which I don't think is true because I feel like somebody would have said something by now. But if he wants to be here, then yeah, I would love to have him back. But I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he's ready to move on. So I think it's.
But would you have him back as a number 1 or a number 2? Because we've seen last year when Alshon Jeffrey was ready because of the money that he's getting paid. Zach Ertz is getting paid $8.5 million this year. Yeah. So Howie Roseman, if we look at his track record, it don't matter how good you are. I'm paying you. I need the coach to play you. So I mean, would you keep him as
I
number
think
one or
if
number
his
two?
talent is there, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm down to have him as the number one, but he still has talent. He had a rough season last year, so I'm not ready to say that Dallas Goedert is better than him. I mean, there's an argument to be made there. I'll say that, but I'm not ready to say he's just outright way better than him right now. So I think there will be competition there, and I think there's ways that you could definitely utilize both of their talents. I don't think it's something that would be bad for the Eagles if he wanted to play for the Eagles, but I just don't think that there's an interest there. I don't think he wants to be here. So, I think you have to move on.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Zach Ertz want to be here. Last year, I mean, it showed. Yes, he was hurt for a few games, but the games that he played was just ridiculous. Like Richard Rodgers was outperforming him. Like I mean, like you could tell, especially with his press conference that he gave, like at the end of the season, crying and sniffling and all this stuff that he was doing. Like he was mentally checked out.
Yeah.
He was done. So I was like, you know what? Look, I thank you for the winning catch in the Super Bowl, but we're trying to move on. If the Philadelphia Eagles could get rid of Brian Dawkins, Donovan McNabb, Deshaun Jackson, McCoy, Macklin, by Hurts. Like, I mean, like to me, those players had more, like had a more of a special place in my heart than Zach Ertz, especially at a tight end position. You know what I mean? So, I just think that he would not want to be a number two because he's playing for a new contract, and that will cause turmoil with Goddard, within on the locker room.
You would hope that at this point in his career, he would take this 8.5 and then turn into our Brent Selleck type guy. That you're our number two, helping the young guy come along, making like $5-6 million a year, and you're chilling. You know what I'm saying? You're an Eagle for life. But if you want to leave, bro, you got to go. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think he has that much value outside of Philly, but we'll see. I have him on one of my fantasy teams. That's a franchise team, so I hope he does good because I know nobody's trading for him. So
I was hoping that his mindset was that way, but last week he tweeted out or he sat down with somebody and said this: "I'm betting on myself this year. I'll play the final year, but I'm betting on myself." How the hell are you gonna bet on yourself when you are backing up Goddard? So that means that his mindset going into training camp is, I'm number one. You know what I mean? I want to get this guy out. And we want, this is the year where we got to see what we got in Goddard. We need to pay this man like millions of dollars.
I mean, at the end of the day, talent plays, and you can play both. You can definitely play both of them. And if it becomes a situation where in 6 weeks you're looking at Ertz and he's back to what, we know him as for Ertz, and Goddard's out here balling as well, then you make that decision then. You know what I'm saying? Now you have way more value in a Zach Ertz. So it can only help us if he comes back and plays well. You know what I'm saying? I really don't think it hurts us at all. But yeah, I get that we got to definitely see what, Goddard has. But listen, man, it's all of the NFL is all about value. If we could squeeze out another third or fourth out of
Zach, I want to give him up for less than a fourth, man. Like, because he's too valuable. Like, to me, Zach Ertz,
if he doesn't want to play here, he's not. That's the whole thing.
But as long as he don't make no stink about it, as long as he go out and act professional, I keep him. If not, I bench him and just wait for injury to happen because we know injuries happen. Like, every year, and there's going to be a desperate team, that comes out there and say, hey, we'll give you a third, how we could fleece him for a third,
My thing about cutting him is like the whole.
Yeah, I don't want to cut him though.
Well, the whole compensatory deal with that is like you could get up to a third, right?
Yeah.
But he would have to get a good contract. He would have to get basically more than what he's making now for us to get that third. And we would not be able to it's like a whole situation. But either way, I just don't think we're gonna get that high of a compensatory pick. So I need to pick up front. So I'm almost more willing, like you said, to bench him.
Yeah.
If it's like a 5th, 6th round pick, I'd bench him. Let him. You ruin your own career then. Like that's on you. If you want to sit there and pout, then you sit there and pout. Like I'd rather just bench him and just move. You know, we see if we can get value. But that's kind of like my maniacal side. Like realistically, you probably should just cut him, get that money, go get Steven Nelson or re-sign whoever you need to re-sign, because that's the better business, sense of it.
But Howie is all about numbers, man. We know Howie, man. He's a
that's
horrible.
That's $8.5 million that Howie can free up. So I know how. I mean, Howie's gonna get rid of Zach Ertz's contract somehow. Like he almost has to. Landon Dickerson's still not paid, and we don't have any.
Yeah, I know, right?
We'll see.
Yo, why do you think that is, though? I mean, look, is it the money or the Eagles saying, "Hey, you know what? Like, is it a medical issue?" And because we do have enough money to pay him his rookie contract, but he was a 2nd round pick. Everybody else done got signed, 1st round pick, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, but he was a 2nd round pick, and I think his agent, man, is saying or listening to all the Eagles YouTube content creators saying, "Oh my God, that 2nd pick, he might be an All-Pro one day." They say, "You know what? Just hold up a little bit before you sign that little contract right here." So I mean, is it a money issue or a medical? Because technically, he coming off of 2 blown ACLs.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the money wise, that's kind of structured as far as the draft picks go. So there's not much that you can do, like as far as the money goes. I'm sure there's incentives and bonuses that you can add to make it more or whatever, but it's kind of set at what it is. I think it might be language. I think it might be just like some of the contractual language, like within the next couple years, because with his injury history, unfortunately, it is a very risky pick. And, we saw what happened with Sidney Jones. We ended up losing a couple of $1 million on him. And it wasn't nothing big money-wise, but it's the same exact situation. So they might be looking at the Sidney Jones and being like, if you end up like this, we might need you to, we might want to out a little bit earlier. So that might be what they're trying to do. Landon side might be saying no. Landon just got engaged, so that might be it. There's a lot of things that could be going on with this. Like training camp doesn't start for another 2 weeks. And realistically, rookies don't have to be signed until the season starts. Realistically, there's a clause in everybody's contract. Once you are part of the team, you don't have your contract to play years and years on the team. But even before you sign that contract, if something's to happen to you, you are going to get some money. It's not obviously a huge contract, but there's, clauses that if you go out there in training camp and everything with the team, you are taking care of the team. Like I said, it's not a long-term deal or anything. But the most unlikely scenario of it, maybe people in his camp, because I've heard some crazy stuff from college, camps and just scouts and stuff. So maybe people in his camp are saying, look, if you sit this year out, you'd probably be a 1st-round pick next year.
But
because he can sit this out, never signed. Yeah, he can sit this out. If he never signs, he can sit this whole year out and just re-enter the draft. Now, like I said, that's probably the most unlikely scenario, but the biggest knock on Landon has been his health. Yeah. So if he can take a whole year off, stay healthy, somehow come back to the pro day and show he's a 1st round, I just don't think that he would hold that value or improve it by not playing. So it's like I said, very unlikely, but that is an option. I mean, that's something that could happen. I doubt it, like very, very much so, but hey, you never know, right? We've seen crazier things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about that though, for real, because if he's not signed, technically, he don't get fined because you're not signed. So how could you get fined? So you could just
he would have to sit everything out. He would literally not be able to go. Like it's just you just abstain from the draft. Like I said, it's very, very, very unlikely. I think that the deal gets done probably within the next couple of days. Don't quote me, but you'll probably hear something like Monday or Tuesday about what's going on with that situation. And you're probably going to hear what's happening with Ertz pretty soon as well. Things are going to be working. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I have an inside source. I'm saying that because we have 2 weeks left till training camp. we're not going to go to training camp, in my opinion, with these questions looming over our heads. So I think we'll start getting answers pretty soon. And we'll see. We'll see. I think Landon Dickerson signs. Obviously, he has options. Every person does. I don't see him exercising some of these options. I think it's language at this point, just trying to make sure everybody's protected in the contract. Because it's a tough situation. Because like you said, he's either going to be one of those great Eagle offensive linemen, or he's going to be Danny Watkins. It's unfortunate. It's always, there's a big reward risk factor here. So,
all right. So look, I want to jump into player development because it's been reported that JJ, Mr. Umbrella Man, have a slim chance of making this roster, but he was a second round pick. But the player development part of it is this. Every player that has left the Philadelphia Eagles has flourished outside our organization. So is it the player or the coaches that we had is the reason why that JJ did not flourish to his his peak? He didn't get enough playtime, number one, because we always had Jackson and Jeffries and whatever we had. But even when he did get his chance, it's like, man, coming off the bench and say, hey, we need you in right now. It's like a game or two, which sometimes it could be hard for a player to just get in and try and produce. So do you feel like, because Rashul Douglas went and balled out, Sidney Jones, Darby, Nelson Aguilar, those four top players to me went and balled out. If we had them on this roster right now, we'll be way better off than where we were, right now, because we would have a CB2, a CB3, with Slay. So, is it the player or the coaches we had in position that are not able to develop these players? And just like Ben Simmons, your Doc Rivers was hired to what? To develop Embiid and Ben Simmons to get them over the hump. So what is it? Like, is it the players or the coaches, especially for the Philadelphia Eagles, though?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think J-Jaw's trash. The only way to see if he's improved is to keep him on the roster, and I'm personally not willing to do that. I just want to get it over with. I'd rather keep Hightower over him. I'd rather keep Quez over him. I'd rather keep.
How do you really know that, though? Have you seen enough of JJ? Have you seen?
He wasn't good. He wasn't that great in college.
Stanford, I think he was.
He wasn't that. Yeah, he was not that great in college. He was not. Even when he did play, a lot of his mistakes was running the wrong routes. A lot of his mistakes was, he did the one thing that he is good at, and I'll give him credit for this. Is if you throw a jump ball, he has a very good chance at getting it. He's good at that. He's good at using his body and shielding. But I've seen him knock Dallas Goedert off his route. I've seen him just be way too slow in cuts, to get to the ball. I've seen this man be trash. Like, we have not had any good wide receivers, and he's been the worst. So I don't care realistically if he goes somewhere and plays well. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of everybody seeing J-Jaw go out there and looking at his stat sheet and saying DK Metcalf. J-Jaw is DK Metcalf. Like, that's all he is. He's a reminder every day that we do not have DK Metcalf. I'm good. I'm good on him. I'm so good on him. I can deal with Jalen Reagor. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Reagor, when he played,
he's a Justin Jefferson. He reminds me of Justin Jefferson every time he goes out there.
I see flashes in Jalen Reagor. I see flashes in Jalen Reagor. When Jalen Reagor on punt returning punts for touchdowns.
What touchdown against the Green Bay?
How many times was he a punt returner? The time before that, when they put it in his hand, he almost brought it back for a touchdown. So, and even when he was out on the field, he was making plays. He just got injured a lot. It is what it is. I'm not ready to say that Justin Jefferson's the greatest, or Randy Moss. He had a good season. Let's see if he does it again. Yeah. DK Metcalf is a beast. DK Metcalf was in the second round. You know what I'm saying? there's nothing that makes me happy that J Jaw's on this team. So I'm good. I think it's time for him to go find greener pastures, and God bless him. I hope he, has a great life. But
So
I'm
if
good.
he go ball out and make a Pro Bowl,
wrong, but I'll still.
You okay with it though?
If he's not gonna, there's no way he's going to.
Hey,
that's the thing.
Anything is possible, man. Look, just like Kevin Garnett said, everything is possible. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, look, it made it happen. I mean, I just think it was more of the coaching staff because you saw it in front of your eyes. Carson Wentz was like, he told you when Frank Reich left and Filipino left, and whatever his name is, Filipino, and the quarterback coach left, he digressed so bad because Doug Peterson was not a coach that developed players.
Yeah, we didn't have good wide receiver coaches at the end of the day. Greg Ward has developed. John Hightower got better as the year progressed. Not great, but he got better. I mean, we don't have good wide receivers. It is what it is. But you were the worst of the bunch. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just don't get why people want to see J Jaw out there again. I really don't. If J Jaw is out there, it's really just kind of like a flex of Nick Sirianni being like, "Look what I can do." Like, I'm good. If Nelson Aguilar was still a free agent, I would have rather got him back than taking on J Jaw back.
Yeah.
Like, J Jaw's just not good to me. J Jaw's one thing. J Jaw is a jump ball receiver. That's all he is to me. He's not faster than everybody. He's a little bit bigger, but he's not faster than anybody. He's not a better route runner than anybody. He can jump up and catch a ball. That's it. That's it to me. Like, and you can do that with Travis Fulgham. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, okay. I'm good. I'm so good. Like, maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm like just a hater on J Jaw, and hopefully he watches this and he's like,
"You just scarred, man."
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
You just done with the umbrella. Every time you look at him, and you see his mom holding the umbrella over his head. Because the sun was too hot.
Just like Nate Gary. When we cut Nate Gary, that was one of the happiest days of my life. I was like, fine. Yeah. Thank God. I'm glad at least somebody knows what they're doing, because that was the one.
And then he got cut again. He got cut again by 49.
I'm telling you, but we were out here screaming Jordan Matthews was like Hall of Famer. And you see how bad he was everywhere else. Like, we had some good wide receiver coaches. It is what it is. We just had some bad wide receivers. I mean, Aaron Moorhead was a good wide receiver coach, or is a good wide receiver coach. Mike Groh was a top wide receiver coach. He lost his job because we freaking want to make him an offensive coordinator, which made no sense. Yeah. I forget who we had right before him. Before we had because I mean, we went through like 3 different ones. Who did we have before we had Alshon Jeffrey? Was it Carson Welsh or something? Who was it? I forget who we had as our wide receiver coach. Yeah. But we had Jason Avant as like a special assistant last year. Yeah, we've had good, we've had good wide receiver minds in the building. We just have had terrible wide receiver bodies. Like, it is what it is. When Jordan Matthews is like the best wide receiver you can hang your hat on in like the past 5 years, that's saying something. Jordan Matthews, I don't even think is on the team right now.
No. As a matter of fact, he is trying not to be a tight end in the pup. Yeah. He's trying out to be a tight end. Nelson was a shocker. Yes, Nelson Aguilar was a shocker last year. I didn't see. Well, we were seeing flashes of Nelson a couple years ago. I just think Philadelphia fan base could ruin players, man. Look. I'm sorry, man. Not every player could play in Philly. Like, if you're weak-minded and just don't have that drive, you're going to get booted out of Philadelphia. Like Carson Wentz. Like, I was shocked. I mean, that was the biggest shocker to me that we let Carson Wentz. I saw him as a Brett Favre type, an Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback, a pocket passer, athletic, and he's gone. I never in a million years thought that we would have got rid of Carson Wentz. I never thought. But he couldn't just handle it mentally. He was, oh man, this is too much for me. So we need some jalenhurts in Philly, Devontae Smith, those type of mindset from Alabama. Oh, Dickerson. Those players are used to being under the bright lights, getting the criticism. Like Nick Saban will get into your butt. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's just painful. The money we gave up for him and we stuck with it this year, which has put us in this bad situation of we ain't got no money this year. But next question, look, real quick, man, I just have a couple more questions. Who do you think will be a surprise cut? I didn't see that coming. Ooh, because we have a lot of talent. So who would be a surprise cut for you?
I would say an easy one to say is probably Zach Ertz. Like it ends up just happening, they just cut him. But I'll say a surprise.
Yeah.
Would probably be. Derek Barnett, probably.
Oh, wow.
I would be surprised if we just gave him up. I think that if we give him up, it's going to be for a trade or we extend him after a couple games. But I would be surprised if we just like straight up cut him because I feel like you could have been done.
That's 10 mil. Yeah, that's 10 million though. And that's 10 million.
I just feel like you could have been done that. Like if there wasn't like if there's like not a reason behind it is what I mean. Like if we just cut him like one day, you know what I'm saying? We don't sign nobody the next day. We just cut him. We just were like, never mind. Like I would be surprised about that, to be honest. But if we trade him, I wouldn't be surprised. If, like I said, if he was cut and then the next day we got, Steven Nelson or somebody like that, then I could get why.
Like
if you just say, all right, yeah, we cut him, we're not even gonna try, I would be really surprised because I would kind of feel bad. It's like, damn, you could have cut him earlier off in the offseason and let him find a job. But
and save that 10 mil, right? I mean, exactly. So to me, it'll either be Taylor or Bradley, the linebackers. Yes, Eric Wilson, he's still young. And matter of fact, last year was his first full, matter of fact, he didn't even start the whole year last year. He started week 3 or 4 after everybody started getting hurt on the Vikings. And he still had 100+ tackles. So, I mean, with that being said, that with TJ Edward and then with Singleton, like Bradley or Taylor, I don't see where they're going to fit it unless strictly on special teams. So that would be, a surprise cut, 2 years and, into their career, which we never really gave them a chance to flourish, to see what they really had. I really think that our linebacker core, when I saw Taylor run down Lamar Jackson, the perfect angle of his speed, last year when we played the Ravens, I was like, why are we playing Nate Gary again? Why? And it goes back to player development. Jim Schwartz should have seen that Nate Gary was not a professional or even a college linebacker. That's a high school linebacker. No lie. Because he was that dirty, that's trash. But he still just stuck to it. So a surprise cut for me without giving them an opportunity will be either Bradley or Taylor, and then somebody gonna get the next Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis is not the biggest guy, but he's so physical. He run through them. He run through that line, and he could track you down and knock your head out. I mean, just ask Darren Sproles, man. He met Ray Lewis personally up face to face when he ran up the middle, and Ray Lewis was boom, knocked him on his ass. So, I mean, that would be a surprise cut for me. Would either be Bradley or Taylor. I mean, do you think they're gonna make the team though? I mean,
I expect them to. Yeah, I definitely expect them to. I don't think there's many people way better than him. And Davion Taylor is he has attributes athletic attributes that you want to work with. So I think he will. I think they both will.
Okay, all right. Look, my last question for you. All right. What is your dream scenario on the offensive line? Because if we all know we have to protect Jalen Hurts, and with the great offensive line, the Philadelphia Eagles could go far because they are easily, I say, a top five O line if everybody's healthy. But who's gonna be on there?
Yeah, my dream scenario would be that we're a top 7, top 10 offensive line without
Mhm.
Lane Johnson and Brooke. That would be my dream scenario
Without,
without. And the reason I say that, I'm not saying I want them to get hurt or I want them to get traded, but I would love to know that moving forward, Jack Driscoll can be our right tackle. Nate Herbig can be our right guard. I would love to know that we still are fine. Once those guys inevitably move on, we are going to be fine. Because I do think between Jordan Mailata and Andre Dillard, we're going to figure out our left tackle position. I do think with Landon Dickerson between center and left guard, that's going to get figured out. And then right guard, right tackle is where it really gets a little nerve wracking for me because it's like, what's the future of that? So if
yeah.
you can tell me, hey, Jack Driscoll's that guy, which I think he has a lot of upside. But I think Jack Driscoll and Nick Herbig go in there and they can be those guys. Or I feel like I'm forgetting people, but we have some good young
We have
talent.
some depth. Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I would love to know that they're good. Maybe this LaRaven Clark comes over and has a couple more good seasons because he had a couple in Indy. So it'll be interesting. That will be my biggest dream scenario is at the end of the year, we're like, damn, even if Lane Johnson, retires, or maybe we should trade Lane and Brooke and go, because we got their backups. I would love to be in that situation.
Yeah, all right. Look, hey, my dream scenario will be Mariota, Dillard. If you can make that transition from right tackle to right guard, Dickerson at center, 6'7". Yo, Kelsey is only what 6'2",
Yeah.
like maybe under 300 pounds or maybe busting 300 pounds. But Dickerson is 6'7", 300 plus. Yo, the anchor on your offensive line, directing traffic, like boom, boom, boom. This dude won the best center award in college football. Yo, he is that dude. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not so mad about that pick. And then you have Brooks stay healthy and Johnson, just stay healthy. I just want a healthy offensive line, but I would replace Kelsey with Dickerson.
Yeah,
And
I think
and
you put Dickerson somewhere ASAP. You put him somewhere ASAP.
yeah,
I think he's going to be
yeah,
right now. So go ahead and put him at left guard. Let him learn next to Kelsey. And if you have
yeah.
a beast at guard, keep him there and go get another center. Just fill in a spot. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
need everything. Let's get young.
I just want to be like the Cowboys line, like first rounders. I mean, like Dillard, Dickerson was a second rounder. You know what I mean? But I mean, a first, second rounder on the offensive line, talent is finally coming. Showing and stuff like that. Last question, I promise. Fletcher
Yeah.
Cox. Hey, Fletcher Cox, man. Like, this is a big year for him. He has to perform. He has to perform this year. He's been in the league 2 more extra years than Aaron O'Donnell, and he has 30 less sacks than him. And O'Donnell get pressure like double team, triple team, quadruple team because he's the only one on that defensive line and still got 30 more sacks. So do you think this is a make or break year for Fletcher Cox? Because I don't want to trade a guy a year too late. So, I mean, so what's your opinion on that?
It's tough because obviously everybody loves Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
I think that he's just not Aaron Donald. I think that people need to accept that. But I think that he needs to accept that he's getting paid Aaron Donald money. So if he wants to stay with the Eagles, I think that we have to extend him, lower that cap hit. a little bit and, you know, move forward from there. I wouldn't say it's like a make or break. Like he might. I mean, you know, if he's not willing to give up some of that money, he's making a lot of money next year, and he's making a lot of money for a while. So,
yeah, double digits.
If he doesn't if he doesn't, he's in like the 20s. He's like 23 or something like that. If he doesn't perform up to that contract, I don't think he does. He should get it. You know, I don't want to say deserve. Deserves a harsh word, but like, if he's not playing like a $23 million player, we should not pay him that. So, you know, in that sense, yes, it should be a make or break year. But I think as long as he goes out there, stays healthy, and, you know, our defensive line is good, he's fine. He's fine.
Okay. Hey, look, with that being said, hey, I appreciate you coming on my live, man. I've been trying to get you on here for a while. You know, I've been stalking you on the comments. I'm like, hey, man. Hey, can we collab? Crickets. But I'm finally glad, hey, you came on my show. Hey, let people know where to find you and what you're about.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's Joe Castro, Philly Fresco, Philly the podcast. And yeah, hit me up on Twitter. Usually that's where you can hit me up, like actually get a hold of me. But yeah, no, I'm glad I could come on here. This past like month has been crazy for me. So trying to make my rounds now. And you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've been flaking out on some people, but it's been a lot of fun, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad you had me on, man. And anytime you guys, you know, anytime you need me back on, definitely just holler at me, man. We'll figure something out.
All right. Hey, look, his link is below. I did post paste his link up below my channel. But if you're not subscribed to his channel, please like, comment, and subscribe to his channel. Help your boy get to that 200 subs, because this upcoming season is going to be wild. Even if I can get into the games, I might just go to the tailgate and enjoy the conversation with the fans on both sides. So I will be at the Buccaneers, you know, Philadelphia Eagles Thursday night football game, because I think we're going to shock the world. This is Jalen Hurts coming out party this season. And that night, which I think in week 6, we'll start a run to win the division or a wild card spot. But you already know, the only way you're going to find that out is if you subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter at jceaglestalk. And until next time, go Birds.